Hi, everybody. This is Marjorie Saulson, and this is the latest edition of Public Speaking Tips and Tricks. And tonight we are talking about pronoun puzzlement. Me, myself, or I. Which is the correct one to use? And so many people kind of get these mixed up. And they know they're mixing them up, and you can see them sort of pausing or thinking, was I supposed to use I here, or me, or am I using myself correctly? So I'm here to share with you the little tricks to easily remember when to use me, when to use myself, when to use I. And of course, all of these go for he, she, he, him, and himself, and she, her, and herself, and we, us, and ourselves, and they, them, and their selves. You is much easier because you is only you or yourself or yourselves. So let's start by putting any word with self on the shelf. Any word with self, that pronoun is called a reflexive pronoun because it reflects back to the subject of the sentence. That's the only time it's correct to use it. So, for example, you might say if you were tired when you got up, I dragged myself out of bed this morning. Or somebody who's, you can say, oh, he's so full of himself. We're really proud of ourselves and the job we did. They took themselves off on a wonderful vacation. Take good care of yourself. You, of course, is understood. Well, hello. We have Lou joining us and Cheryl Bartolomucci, whom I haven't seen or talked to in quite a long while. Welcome to both of you. So anyway, self is only used when you're referring back to the subject. He's proud of himself. She takes good care of herself. We decided this all by ourselves. Those are all the things that you can use it. Now, let me tell you how people use it incorrectly. Sometimes people will use myself, particularly, as either a subject pronoun. John and myself decided to do this. No. John and I decided to do this. Or if you decide you're going to join us, get back to John and myself. Get back to John and me. Okay, so self, again, is only when it reflects back to the person or the pronoun who is the subject of the sentence. That's the only time. Oh, you can use it for emphasis. He himself told me that story. Or she herself was the person who did it. You can use it for emphasis, but again, it's referring right back to whoever is the subject of the sentence. So that leaves us with me and I. And generally speaking, when people start a sentence with the word I, they know I'm going to the movies. And he gave a book to me. If it's just the pronoun by itself, most people get it right. They took us to dinner. You don't say they took me to dinner. You know they took us to dinner because that's what sounds right. Where the problem comes is when you put a pronoun with a noun. So, for example, they gave books to John. Is it John and I or John and me? Here's a simple trick. Take John out of the picture. Would you say they gave the books to I? I don't think so. Doesn't sound right. They gave the books to me. They gave the books to John and to me. If you add the two in again, you know for sure that it's me. Same thing with I. Would you say, sometimes you'll hear people say, Sally and me are going to do that. Well, if you take Sally out of the picture, would you say, me, I'm going to do that? No, you'd say, I'm going to do that. So it's Sally and I are going to do that. So that's the easiest way to figure out whether you're using I or me. Now remember, self is off the table unless you're referring back to the subject. So then that only leaves the question of, is it I or me, we or us, they or them, him, he or him? The same rules for instance, John and he went to the movies. You wouldn't say him went to the movies. They gave books to John and him. You wouldn't say they gave books to him. To he. Now I'm getting confused. You wouldn't say they gave books to he. They'd say they give books to him. So it's to John and to him, or to John and him. So that's what you do when you are confused about me, myself, or I, he, him, or himself, she, her, or herself, we, us, or ourselves, they, them, themselves, and also you and yourself, or you and yourselves, because you, of course, can be singular or plural. And you is easier because it's both, can be both the subject of the sentence and it can be an object. Are you going? Yes, you're going. I'm going with you. You can be the object of a pronoun, of a verb rather, or a preposition. It gave the books to you. You gave the books to me. So that's what grammar is about, those grammar things. And why am I bothering with this when I am talking about public speaking and confidence in public speaking? Because if you don't feel secure about that, about using this, then you kind of hesitate a little, and it detracts from your confidence level. And I see, Lou, you wrote, allow myself to introduce me is way off. You're absolutely right. Allow me to introduce myself. That's wonderful. Thanks for that wonderful example. Allow me to introduce myself. So that's terrific. Anyway, good grammar is good business. I really believe that, because it may be that 75 or even 80% of the people you talk to don't know the difference. But maybe the people you're really trying to impress actually do know the difference. By the way, my absolutely favorite incorrect use of the word me, chalk, fingers on the chalkboard, hate it, is when somebody said, me and John are going to do something, or me and Thelma, or me and Henry, or me and somebody else. I hate that. When you are using a proper noun, a name, with a pronoun, the name goes first. John and I are going to do that. They gave books to John and to me. They took John and me to the movies. That is the accepted order. I suppose it's grammatically, technically correct to say they gave books to me and John. To me, it just sounds better when you say they gave books to John and me. So that's my riff and my whatever on me, myself, or I, what I call pronoun puzzlement. So just as a very quick review, the only time you use self is when you're referring back to the actual subject of the sentence. I got myself up early this morning. He's full of himself. We took ourselves off on a big vacation. They're very proud of themselves because of all the work they do, something like that. And you can use it for emphasis. she herself told me all about it. Mm-hmm. Then I is when it's the subject, the person's doing it. I, he, she, they. I'm going. John and I are going. We're going. The boys and I, the family, and we are all going together. And me and is the object of either the verb or the pronoun. They gave books to John and to me. He saw me at the movies. I saw him at the movies. We saw them at the movies. We saw John and them at the movies. When you combine those with a proper noun and you're not sure, take the name of whoever you're talking about out of there and listen to how it sounds. Chances are you will know exactly the correct use when you take out a name and you don't combine the pronoun with somebody's name. So with that, I am Marjorie Saulson of Vibrant Vocal Power. It's been my pleasure to share this with you. I'm so glad to see, Lou, that you're here, and Cheryl. It's so nice to have you as part of this Facebook Live. And thanks again, Lou, for that wonderful example. Allow myself to introduce me as the exact opposite of what it should be. Allow me to introduce myself. And I invite you, if you're interested in more information and more things that I share, to go to my website. It's vibrantvocalpower.com. And when you're there, you'll see I have a free report, Overcome Your Public Speaking Fears. I expanded it a few months ago from a 3-page report to a 23-page ebook that has all kinds of wonderful tips and tricks about overcoming your fears of public speaking. So with that, I say, oh, Cheryl, look at those beautiful hearts. Thank you so much. It's so lovely spending some time with you, and thanks for being part of this Facebook Live. And so now I go to end the live video. Bye-bye.